What's up, YouTube? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own customizable hat to wear at music festivals or whatever special occasion your heart desires. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Living by the F Word. Today I am going to be teaching you how to make your very own festival hat or customizable hat. I've been doing this for a very long time, making hats for myself, and I really enjoy it. And the reason why I wanted to do something festival related is because for the month of December, I'm collaborating with 6 other amazing female content creators within the music festival space here on YouTube to bring you Ravemas. That's right, 7 creators, 7 days. That means 31 videos. You're gonna be able to watch 31 different videos every single day this month, brought to you by all of us. Before I jump into the tutorial, I just wanna let you know it's super important that you pick a theme for your hat. So I'm gonna show you a few examples of hats I've worked on in the past for myself. But before you dive into this project, definitely have some type of theme so that you know what your color scheme will be. Since it's December and almost the new year, I am doing a silver and gold theme. I mean, who doesn't love silver and gold?
Silver and gold.
One last thing, make sure you're following me on Instagram. After all, it is the giving season, if you know what I mean.
Let's jump into this tutorial. You're going to need a hat, fabric, trim, embellishments, decorations, chains, pliers, and various glues. The first thing you want to do is prep the hat. So you want to take off anything that might have come with the hat. So I'm going to loosen up these silver prongs that hold that gray strap in, but I'm going to put them to the side because I usually use them later on in the project. So definitely keep those, don't throw them out. After that, you're going to want to basically cover the entire base of the hat. There are different approaches for covering the top of the hat. You could either flip it over and trace around it. I cut a really large piece around it just because I wasn't sure if I wanted the entire base covered with this fabric or not, and I usually save my scraps, so it wasn't that big of a deal to me because I don't waste fabric. But once you figure out what you want to cover and what spots you want to cover, you want to start moving in small sections with the glue. And I usually use fabric tack, which is what I'm using here, but my bottle was really running low and I was having trouble squeezing it out. So eventually I decided to add some hot glue to it, which ended up being a mistake because you can kind of see the ripples of the hot glue. This fabric in particular has spandex material with it, so it kind of showed through. So I recommend just using fabric tack, or if you have E6000, you could use that too, but fabric tack is usually the best way to go. And I ended up actually getting a new bottle that you'll see me squirting on here in a second, and it had a totally different texture than the one that I'm used to. So that was interesting to work with as well. So now you're gonna see me working around the curved parts of the hat. And this part is where things start to look a little ratchet, but don't doubt yourself, guys. Just know that this is a process and that you can cover things up very easily. So where you see those bunches of fabric, they ultimately are gonna get covered anyway. Depending on the fabric, it may be easier to use different fabrics for those curved areas. So for instance, this fabric I'm using right now that looks like a disco ball is absolutely amazing because you can't tell when there's 2 different pieces connected. And you may have just seen it there, but I was gluing the fabric on and then cutting it off with scissors. I find this to be easier than trying to match up fabric and cutting it first. I think it's easier to just glue it straight on the hat and then cut off what you don't need. This particular fabric is really nice because even when it's cut into pieces, pieces, you can't really see that it's two pieces, and it's easy to cover. Now we're getting into the part where you get to really add some personality to your hat. So here I'm just using some trim, and I counted how wide I needed it, and then I cut it up. And since it's flat, I'm going to use E6000 and also hot glue. I'm going to use a combo of these glues and glue the gold part. And then I'm going to start with the trim on the top, which you could see I had several options here, but you really want to go with something that is kind of wider. Ultimately, I love using these flower trims on a lot of my hats because they cover up where the 2 points of fabric meet, and they just look super pretty and add a really nice embellishment to your hat. And speaking of embellishments, here we go with the extra embellishments. I usually get these from a fabric or trim shop. If you live in a major city, there's usually a garment district you could pick things like this up at. I actually got a lot of these things from a shop in Paterson, which is a larger town or city in New Jersey. There's a shop that I know of there. You could see I ripped that leaf because I actually glued it in the wrong spot, and I had to come up with a backup plan, so I just added more leaves. That's the beauty of all this, is you really can just keep adding and covering things up and you won't even know. So this is what we have now. And since I added that extra leaf there, it kind of looks like it's growing out of that, and I want to add another pearl. So this is where those pliers really come in handy to add these smaller objects that you can't really hold with your hands. Now I'm going to add some spikes to the brim of the hat. I need to cover up the bottom part where the fabric was cut, and these bend really nicely because they're actually sewn together, and then you could just snip off what you need and it'll look really nice. I don't think I mentioned it before, but this was my inspiration piece. In fact, with a lot of the hats that I make, I usually pick something along the lines that looks like that to add to a chain. So that's what I'm going to do now. And remember how I told you to save those embellishments that we took off in the very beginning? The reason being is because that is how I attach the chains. So I use the pliers to poke through any glue or fabric that might be where that original hole was, and then I re-secure it, and that's how the chain stays on. I don't ever glue chains because if you go to music festivals, you know, you're walking around, you're dancing a lot, and so you really need something really sturdy. Now I'm going to use floral wire to attach hoops to the end of this beading that I will then attach to the gold chain. And the reason I do this is just so that it's extra secure and doesn't fall off. Alright, you guys, we are looking pretty fucking awesome at this point. We added the chain on, we are looking glam, but I just want to add a little bit of final touches to cover up where I put that trim, because obviously it ends right in the middle. I didn't go all the way around. I didn't really think it was necessary. So here I'm going to just add some extra pearls that I have. You can use E6000 for this part. It's definitely more secure than hot glue, but the reason why I used hot glue is because the E6000 has a powerful odor and it actually gives me headaches. And so since this part is really tiny and it's not really, needing to be super held up, in my opinion, I think the hot glue will work just fine and hopefully it won't fall off. But the reason why most crafters use E6000 is because it is much more sturdier and it will last longer than hot glue. So if you were ever curious in the differences, I think they both have their benefits. I think hot glue obviously is easier to work with because it dries faster, and the E6000 takes forever to dry. And now, just because I'm so extra, I have to add silver to the chain. I just felt like this is the silver and gold theme hat. Might as well make the chain silver and gold too. Here is the final look. Overall, I'm really happy with this hat. I really enjoy making these hats. They're so much fun because you have so many options. There's so much versatility and they're just super fun.
All right, everyone, that wraps up this video. Thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Don't forget to check the description below so you can follow along with all the other content creators I'm collaborating with this month for Ravemas. Super stoked. This is an awesome group of girls, honestly, badass bitches, and I'm so stoked to be a part of this collab with them and bring you some really awesome content. I have some really nice things set up for future videos, and I'm just happy to be talking about festivals and festival related stuff again. So I will see you in the next video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget, sharing means caring. Share it with your friends. Share it if you like how this hat came out, and also you can screenshot it and share it to your Instagram stories. That would be helpful as well. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button. I know that's pretty repetitive, but come on, just help your girl out. I will see you in the next video.